Good morning, students. Last time we had finished lesson 9, which was articles. We had finished with the exercise of Garibaldi and we had finished the lesson. Now we were to start with lesson 10, that was pronouns, but lesson 10 we will do afterwards. Instead of that, we will move on to reading comprehension, right? That is lesson number 33. Now what is comprehension? Comprehension is basically you will be given an exercise in which there will be a paragraph, and in that paragraph there will be some story or some description about a person, a biological sketch or something, and you have to read the story or the paragraph, and on the basis of this paragraph you will be given certain questions to solve, which as per the information given in the paragraph you have to answer them, right? So this is reading comprehension. Now you must have done this in earlier classes also. So here also we do it in the same way, only the questions would differ a little bit. Now let us move on further. Let us read the exercise, let us read the lesson. The passages and poems in this chapter are meant to evaluate the students' reading skills, right? Reading comprehension helps you to enhance your reading skills because they help you to read more faster, more attentively, and answer the questions related to the passage, right? Reading is a receptive skill. It provides raw material for producing language, right? It is a receptive skill because you see the words, the sentences, you evaluate the grammar which is present in the sentences, and then you make a sketch in your mind that what is it about. If students do not receive, they cannot produce. That is why it is important to develop reading skills. I have been telling you repetitively that if you develop your reading skills, your command over the language will be excellent, right? Regular evaluation is an integral part of the development process. Regular evaluation is an integral part of the development process of your language. In the following pages, students are required to answer a variety of questions on unseen passages and poems. Multiple choice questions, questions that can be answered in a word or two, or in a sentence or two, and some questions targeting vocabulary. Some questions will be targeting vocabulary as to it is possible that they might ask you to answer the opposite words which are given in the passage, right? Or else certain words will be picked out from the passage and the opposite of those words can be asked. Or else they might ask you that underline the adjectives given in the passage, right? You have learned adjectives, you have learned articles. So any of such part of speech, all these are called parts of speech, that might be asked to pick out from the passage and mention it as an answer in the question. Then they mostly test factual comprehension, but in some cases evaluative comprehension also. Evaluative मतलब they try to test your knowledge about the language, कि आपको लैंग्वेज के बारे में क्या क्या पता है, आपको बेसिक फॉर्म्स लैंग्वेज के पता है, वर्ब्स क्या होते हैं, नाउन्स क्या होते हैं, एडजेक्टिव्स क्या होते हैं, अपोजिट्स क्या होते हैं, सिनोनिम्स, एंटोनिम्स, ऑल दोज आर इवेल्युएटेड. Now let us see the passages. Tips to attempt comprehension passage and poems. This is important. Now what are the tips to attend the comprehension and passages? Read the passage or poem. It is possible that they might give you a poem also, right? Poem carefully and try to get a general idea of the subject in the it deals with, right? At times ऐसा भी होता है कि आपको एक poem या story दे देते हैं और फिर ऐसा बोलते हैं कि उसका moral suggest करो. What will be the best moral of the story, right? So that is the general evaluation, कि आप generally उस story के ऊपर से या उसके ऊपर से आप paragraph के ऊपर से क्या evaluate करते हो कि वो paragraph basically किस पे दिया गया है. So you have to understand the topic on which the paragraph is given. Further, thoroughly go through the questions you are required to answer. Become familiar even with the sequence in which they are asked, right? Normally, when you are answering a paragraph, a questions related to paragraph, it is all given in a sequence. The questions are also asked in a sequential form. So whatever answers you get to find, that you can search in the paragraph sequentially only. Rarely it is possible that you might find it in a haphazard way. like the first question is at the end of the passage and the last question might be at the starting of the passage. That is very rare. Further, pause at difficult words and try to figure out their meaning from the context. Yes, if there are certain words in the passage which you do not understand, try to figure out the meaning. आप कैसे एग्जाम में अगर आपको एक पैसेज दिया है, आपको किसी वर्ड का मीनिंग नहीं पता है, तो आप कैसे फिगर आउट करोगे? बाय रीडिंग द सेंटेंस, कि वो सेंटेंस में उसका मीनिंग क्या निकलता है. फ्रॉम दैट यू कैन अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट इज़ द मीनिंग ऑफ दैट वर्ड, राइट? You won't be allowed any dictionary in the exams, but then this way you can analyze that what is the meaning in the passage of the word. Now take each question in turn and locate its answer in the passage, poem, or infer its answer. Make a mental note of all the answers, right? You should make a mental note. You can mentally analyze that what would be the answer for the given questions. So that you can do. Further, what is next? See that your answers are relevant, brief and crisp. Now relevant is related to the question asked, related to the subject, right? Brief meaning short, they should be short. There are no too long answers as you write it in the lessons, as you do it in the question answers of the lessons. There are no long answers in paragraphs or comprehensions. They are short and crisp. They should not overlap and they should be as far as possible in your own language, right? It should be in your own language. It should not be in the same language which is given in the passage. Try to answer the questions in your own language, right? That is more effective. Having mentally responded to all the questions, write down the answers. Make sure that all the questions have been answered completely and correctly. Just check that all the answers have been, all the questions have been answered completely and correctly. Don't explain or elaborate any points with examples of your own. Just keep yourself close to the given text, right? This is very important point. Do not give your examples of own to explain something in the answer, in the question that is being asked, right? Because this passage is not coming from your mind, it is being already given. So as far as possible, remain close to the subject and close to the paragraph which is already given to you. No need to express your own ideas in the answer. It is important, underline this point, it is important for the students to increase their reading speed, which can be achieved only with practice, right? This is very important. You should achieve a good reading speed. You should be able to read faster and relate the words and the topic and understand it, because there will be a certain stipulated time given to you to solve the passage, right? So in that duration you need to solve the passage. You cannot afford to consume extra time behind it. So it's very important that you learn to read fast. Having a strong and varied vocabulary covering a wide range of subjects is always helpful. Having a strong and varied vocabulary covering a wide range of subjects is always helpful. Now vocabulary is nothing but in English or in any language there are different words, right, for a given same meaning. They are also called synonyms in English, or same meaning words you can say in easy English. जैसे आप लोग हिंदी में समानार्थी शब्द करते हो, in that way, same way, English also you have same meaning words, that is synonyms. Antonyms are nothing but opposite meaning words, right? So for a given word, for example, if you say so, or for so you can also use therefore, you can also use because, right? You can also use on account of, right? All these are synonyms of each other. On account of is a phrase because it is a group of words. Therefore, so, because are all synonyms. You can use any one of them to depict any given topic in the sentence, right? So this is called the vocabulary. Different words used for the same meaning is vocabulary for that particular word. Always helpful, but to comprehend the meaning of a given text, knowing the meaning of every word is not necessary. grasping the general meaning of the given text is enough, right? This is also important. It is not necessary that you know the prescribed meaning of a given word, but it is always good that you understand the overall meaning of the text given, so that you can, so even if you don't know the exact meaning, you can relate the word inside the story or inside the sentence and understand the meaning of the given text. Now let us read this first passage, an example given over here. It having become clear that a war between the Kauravas and the Pandavas was inevitable, both Arjun and Duryodhan decided to seek Krishna's support for their respective sides. Both of them went to Dwarka to meet him. Since Arjun and Duryodhan were closely related to Krishna, they were cousins, right? They were allowed to go straight into his bedroom. Krishna was fast asleep. Duryodhan was the first to enter. He occupied a decorated throne chair at the head of the bed, right? And waited for Krishna to wake up. Arjun, who entered a short while later, kept standing at the foot of the bed with arms folded in a respectful posture. When Krishna woke up, his eyes first fell on Arjun, who stood in front of him as he gave him a warm welcome. And he gave him a warm welcome, right? Normally when a person is sleeping, if someone sits at your besides your head, you won't see that person first. You would see the person who is sitting near your feet, right? Because when your eyes open, you see a person sitting at your feet first. So that is what happened. I too am here, Vasudev almost shouted Duryodhan, feeling annoyed at Krishna's warm greetings to Arjun. Krishna welcomed him too and then asked both of them what had brought them to Dwarka. Duryodhan was the first to speak. He said, "It appears that a war is soon going to break out between us. I have come here to seek your support. Arjun and I are equally dear to you. Both of us can claim an equally close relationship with you. But I came here before Arjun, so you have to help me." Krishna smiled and said, "Duryodhan, you may have been the first to arrive, but it was Arjun whom I immediately saw on waking up, so his claim is greater. Being equally related with both of you, I agree I am bound to offer my assistance to both the parties. Now there is a choice. No one side will be the Narayanas, my tribesmen, who are great warriors and are in large numbers." It is his army of soldiers which Krishna had was called the Narayani Sena, right? So he said that he would give it to Duryodhan. "I individually will be on the other. I will neither wield a weapon nor take part in actual fighting. Arjun will have the first turn to choose." Without any hesitation, Arjun said, "I would be content if you are with us. I don't need your Narayanas." Inwardly, Duryodhan too felt happy with what he got, right? So Arjun accepted that it is okay if you come with us. No need to pick up a weapon, but let your warriors be with the other side. So he agreed on that. Now on this, tick the right options. Why did Arjun and Duryodhan face no difficulty in entering Krishna's bedroom? You have to choose from this. Because they were closely related to Krishna, right? They were princes, they were related to Krishna. That is the proper answer. They were Krishna's friends? No. They were cousins. It is an ancient tradition to welcome guests? No. So B is the correct answer. So tick here. Now further, Duryodhan occupied a decorated throne chair because, why he occupied a decorated throne chair? Because he wanted to be seated close to Krishna's bed. He wanted to suggest that he was the first to come, or he was a prince. He took great pride in his superior position. Did he take? No. What is the reason given here? Krishna was fast asleep. Duryodhan was the first to enter. He occupied a decorated throne chair at the head of the bed and waited for Krishna to wake up. Because he entered the first, he wanted to show that he was the first to come. So again, B is the correct answer. Then next one is, who were the Narayanas? Narayanas is the army that Krishna had, right? Krishna's tribesmen. They were the army of Krishna which helped him in the war. Next one, fourth one, Arjun was given the first turn to choose because he was seated nearer to Krishna than Duryodhan. No, Krishna had seen him first. Yes, this is the correct answer. So again, B is the correct answer. Now answer the following briefly, that we will do it later, but that I'll explain you how to pick out the answers from the passage. Just do this and learn the main points, how to assess a passage. Further, I will be giving you homework about these passages which are given in the textbook that you will have to do. I will teach you answer the following, how to find out the answers from the text, right? We stop here today.